Welcome to day 190 of the New Way. I'll read Matthew 18, 7 through 9. Woe to the world because of the things that cause people to stumble. Such things must come, but woe to the person through whom they come. If your hand or your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life maimed or crippled than to have 2 hands or 2 feet and be thrown into eternal fire. And if your eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and be thrown into the fire of hell. And I'll read Mark's version in Mark 9:43 through 48. If your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life maimed than with 2 hands to go into hell, where the fire never goes out. And if your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life crippled than to have 2 feet and be thrown into hell. And if your eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out. It is better for you to enter the kingdom of God with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and be thrown into hell, where the worms that eat them do not die, and the fire is not quenched. Jesus is still talking about stumbling, but who is he talking to? I'll reread Matthew 18:7. Woe to the world because of the things that cause people to stumble. Here we see 3 things that often cause the world to stumble, and by the world I mean those who have not invited Jesus into their lives. The 3 things that I see are hands, feet, and eyes. Now remember, Jesus is talking to you if you have a God-shaped vacuum inside of you. That's everyone who has not invited Jesus into their core. I believe Jesus is saying quite clearly that it would be better to physically cut off one of these than to miss being in heaven with him for all eternity. Now, what does the hand, feet, and eyes have to do with inviting Jesus into your core? I believe that the primary reason people choose to reject Jesus is one of these 3 things. Let's talk about hands. Are you familiar with a monkey trap? Trappers take a container with a narrow opening at the top and put a food item in the bottom. The monkey can put his hand into the jar to grab the food, but by grasping the food and making his hand into a fist, he can't get his hand back out of the jar without letting go of the food, and he can be easily captured because he won't let go of the food. I believe that many people reject Jesus because they are holding in their hands something that they consider to be more important to them than eternity. I believe that could be jobs, fame, success, family, religious tradition, etc. Let's talk about feet. I believe that many people reject Jesus because the places they go seem more important to them than eternity. I believe that that could be places of entertainment, places of leisure, pleasure, or it could be work, family, our religion. Let's talk about the eyes. I believe that many people reject Jesus because they would rather trust their own eyes. I believe this includes trusting our education, our IQ, our traditions, our religion. It is so hard to rethink things that have held us bound for a lifetime. Jesus calls us to a new way. And once again, Jesus gives a description of hell. We discussed this on day 104. I'll read that description of hell that Jesus gives in Mark 9:48. Mark 9:48, where the worms that eat them do not die, and the fire is not quenched. Now I'll read Mark 9:49 through 50. Everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if it loses its saltiness, how can you make it salty again? Have salt among yourselves and be at peace with each other. Remember, if you are a follower of Jesus, your job is to be salt, to point others to Jesus. Steve Green wrote a children's song that reminds us to help each other to be salt. Here's the lyrics as I remember them. I'm sorry I cannot find a copy of them. But they say, encourage one another and build each other up. Build each other up. Build each other up. Encourage one another and build each other up. Up, 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 up. Encourage one another. Don't tear each other down. Don't tear each other down. Don't tear each other down. Down, 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 down. In his service, Dale.